All right, welcome back. I have this flowery set from Melodie Susie. It is a four-piece gel polish set, and it comes with all these things that this card shows. And there is an actual little vase in the middle, which is for some dried flowers, but this is what the bottles look like. They're beautiful, they're big, and they have a high quality feel to them. I absolutely love the color and the design on the bottle. And if you open up the next part of the box, it says unlock this layer, and there's gifts inside, and this is what it comes with. I think they may vary depending on what they send you, but this comes with these cute green and gold stickers. Also, these rose, pink, and some lilac looking purple flowers. And then it also comes with this brush set with nail art brushes, and there's six of them inside. And when I tell you guys, I was in awe when I opened the box. I really didn't know that this stuff was going to be inside, but it's really helpful for what we're going to do. These are the dried flowers, and they go in the little vase, so I'll show you in a minute. But look at the brush. Some of them have the little points at the bottom for little dotting designs, so they have dotting tools. And here's the little vase with the dried flowers. But here we go. I'm showing you the brush, and it kind of reminds me of the SC Nail Couture polish they used to have. And they have the same type of brush application or applicator, and I really love the feel of this gel. I haven't reviewed a gel polish in a while, so I was very taken back by how amazing the opacity and the formula was. I really, really enjoyed working with it. So the brush also made it really easy to apply to my own natural nails. Here we have the second color. We have a shimmery pink color that you can use for French nails. And it actually has some iridescent champagne gold shimmer on it. I was actually really amazed. You can't really tell on camera, but in person, I was like, oh my God, I need this color next time. Anyway, so here we go. We have the black. The black is pretty nice as well. You do have to play with the color a little bit, but it does blend properly afterwards. And after you add that second coat, it comes out just fine. But this is me adding one coat, and it still looks pretty decent. So here we have the white, and I was also taken back by the white. The white is very, very opaque, and it seems like it'll be great for French nails as well. And these bottles are pretty big, so you will have a lot of product to play with. So here we have the color with two layers of color and adding the top coat to finish it off. And I did all four colors to pick one. I ended up picking the red, and that's what they look like finished off. And we're going to move on to step one. We have to push the skin back. What you want to do is you want to push back gently, and some people, depending on your own skin or your own cuticles, it really depends how stiff or how hard it is to push back. Mines aren't really that hard to push back, and I always have minimal dead skin around underneath the skin and on top of that plate, the nail plate. So then you want to go and take for step two, remove the dead skin, which is what I was just saying. So I don't really have that much, but some people do, which is where the nipper will come in handy. But if you don't have a lot, you could either take a tool like this, or you can take like a wooden stick, which I'll show you in a minute. But if you have one of these type of implements, then you could just basically scrape off that dead skin that's stuck on your nail plate. That's going to help long last your gel polish. If you kind of don't do this part, it's gonna not be beneficial for the wear and tear and the longevity of the nails. You want to make sure they last long. So if you can remove as much as this, just be really gentle depending on how comfortable you are with these tools. Other than that, if you don't have that much cuticle like me, then you can probably just buff off the nails around and underneath that skin instead of having to do all of this. You may still have a longer wear, but this is just the way that I want to make sure that they last as long as possible. So like I said, if you don't have any of those tools and you only have a cuticle pusher that's a wooden stick, then just use the wooden stick, push back, and scrape off as much as possible. And you can go ahead and buff your nails. And when you buff your nails, you're also paying attention to getting rid of all of that excess dead skin that we don't want underneath our new gel polish. So you're trying to scrape as much off as possible, but you're also being gentle. You don't want to be rough. I believe this block has a couple different grits, and I believe I'm using like the medium grit. The medium grit would be better because you want to make sure that you have some roughness to your nail so that when you do apply the gel polish or any product for that matter, it'll actually last on your nails and it'll adhere as best to its ability. Now for the next step, you want to remove any hangnails, any skin that's kind of hanging out, and make sure that your nippers are pretty decent so you don't hurt yourself. If you're afraid to do any of this, it just takes practice, and you just want to be careful and just grab underneath the skin, not the actual live skin. Get whatever looks dead and brittle and like dry and whatever's hanging out. For the next step, we're going to cleanse the nails, and that's going to help so we can add some primer. You could also add some dehydrator or any of that. So that is the next step. Add your primer or dehydrator or just cleanse them as much as possible, because I know not everybody has all the products, but if you do, go ahead and add the primer or dehydrator or a little bit of both, or just cleanse them with alcohol. Make sure when you're applying your primer, you are careful with not touching the skin as well. Pretend it's gel because it is still a nail product which can carry different chemicals, and you don't want your body or your skin to be exposed to a lot of chemicals. Next step is apply a gel base. Like I said, also be careful when you're applying any product. I always am trying to be careful when applying anything around my skin. I've actually had allergic reaction to like nail products before, so that has caused me to be a little bit more careful with things and making sure that we don't overexpose our skin, because that was the problem for me. And if when you overexpose your skin to all these chemicals that we don't even know, it could really cause a lot of harm and damage to your skin, to your nails, that can basically take literally a month to heal back to normal. So for my trick here is I take the gel and I'm trying to stabilize my hand anywhere. I had that little thing I was showing you guys right there, that little pink thing. I'll try to find something I can refer you guys to, but if not, if you want to do it this way where you're facing, I was trying to show you guys this way so that it's facing the camera and I could show you that I push back towards the skin but not touching the skin, because like I said, we don't want overexposure. But that's the just the basic trick. You push back just a little bit, just enough to get it near on top of the skin, but you're not touching it at all. And if you don't get it on the skin, it's much better for you because you don't want it also lifting off, and you want to cure that for 1 minute. It just depends on what gel you're using. But now we're going to the next step. The next step is adding the color gel. And here's an example just so you guys can see and visualize how I do it, but I'm going to actually explain it better on the another nail. Now, this brush really does make it really easy to apply, so it is really helpful. Okay, so what I'm going to show you guys is basically this little brush that they also send me. I have other brushes, but for this video, I'm going to use that one. It's really going to help with going around the nail so that we can make it very clean and precise so it can get us close to the skin but not touching it. So what I do is take this brush and I try to push it back as much as possible and bring the product down, and push it up and bringing it down really helps so that you're going as far up but not touching the whole thing, because that's what we're going to use that little detail brush to. Basically any little crevice that we didn't get, we can get this little detail brush and it'll fill it in for us, and we really don't have to worry about the big brush of the nail polish, of the gel polish, touching our skin, because sometimes the brush, it can be bigger and it can spread more, especially when you don't have as much practice. So it really just helps to take a little detail brush like this one and go underneath the skin and get wherever you didn't get, and fill in those little gaps without having to make messy nails. And we all know that red is a really hard color when it gets on your skin to remove. So it is the one color that can show how good you are at nail application or at applying polish. But we're going to cure that for 1 minute and we're going to apply the second layer. And you can add a third, it is your preference, but I was really happy with the way that it looked with just two colors, two coats. And here we don't really have to worry about getting in the crevices or anything because most of the entirety of the nail is already filled up with the color and applied. So here we go. You're going to see this little view here, and I'm just also kind of pushing up the color towards the skin all the way to the top, but not touching the skin, and bringing the product back down. And that's what's going to help us really get the best application. Also, just make sure there's no ripples or any of that because that means there's some type of unevenness in the polish, and you really want to make it as even as possible. So you're going to have to play with that to your liking to till when you see that okay, everything is evened out and looking precise. Here's a closer look right here. I take some of the product, I kind of push it a little bit up, not too much, but just a little bit, and start bringing it to the sides, bringing it down, basically blending it as much as possible to even it out all over the place to get the color really, really even. You can take a wooden stick like we use to push back the cuticles and clean up around the skin if you get any color on there, any product, so that we aren't overexposing our skin and we're not using our fingers to. I still have a bad habit of that sometimes, but I try to take something else like a cleaning brush or a wooden stick to clean around the areas. And we're just doing that last nail, being very careful, adding as much as possible, not being messy, and we're really being patient here when applying all of these products onto our nail because that is a big tip. Being patient is key. All right, so the next step is to apply the top coat. And this top coat is by, I believe, Cafamere. But I didn't really like the top coat, so I ended up using my Koopa polish like you guys saw me with the swatches. But here I'm just showing you how you have to basically be careful and patient. Like I said, that's the most important thing. That's the biggest takeaway is be patient when you're doing all of these steps so that you get the best application. If you try to rush or if you're getting really antsy, that's going to show in your work. And I honestly think if you just practice and practice little by little, you're going to be a pro and you can do your own nails at home, save some money. Or if you don't like going to the salon and you just really want something simple and long lasting, this is the perfect thing for you to do. And it's super affordable at the end of the day. All right, so now we're going to go ahead to the very, very last step. Apply some cuticle oil. You could also apply lotion, whatever your liking is, some petroleum jelly, but this is just bringing back the nails back to life because sometimes using all those products can really dry out your skin. And here is the before and the after. The before obviously is on the right and the after is on the left. And I ended up doing my other hand the next, I think 2 days after, because obviously, kids and stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys try this. I hope you guys take a look, take out Melody Susie's products, and I'll leave all of that in the description down below. Save yourself some money, girls. Look how beautiful these bottles are. Very, very impressed and so happy with my new manicure, new gel mani at home. Bye, ladies. Take care.